All righty. Well, here we are in the era of AI. And I want to thank everybody for joining us. Really excited to be talking about this. I don't think there's any one of us that's working in this B2B marketing world without AI being a part of the conversation. So with that, I've got sort of a rundown on how artificial intelligence is shaping marketing, at least for today. So let me introduce Celeste. She's an amazing PR, AR, comms, all of the above. Maybe you can give us a little bit of your background, Celeste, as we dive in.
Thanks, Court, for having me as a guest today. Great to be here talking about a very timely topic. My name is Celeste, and my background is in B2B enterprise software. I've been in the industry for over 15 years, and I've worked both in-house in the agency and also seeing companies from small startups all the way through the enterprise. And so I look forward to sharing with you some of the insights I'm seeing out there.
Yeah, no, thanks for joining us. We're excited too because Celeste has really sort of a bird's eye view of all things that are happening across many different companies. So it's a really great way to kind of get that sort of all-encompassing conversation going. So with that, we're going to go into basically the business leaders' perspectives on the future of marketing with AI. Some of the things that are kind of hitting the table as different line of business folks are getting impacted or looking at it down the road. And then some use cases are always fun to kind of touch on. And then, of course, discover how companies are currently able to leverage AI while they're also navigating these risks and challenges that seem to be hitting the table. Great. So how did we get here? Essentially, what's happening in the world today and what does it look like tomorrow? So perhaps, Celeste, you can give us that overview.
Yeah, I mean, if I think back what's happened in the past decade, we've spent a lot of time kind of investing to get to this point. We've, done all the cloud work, and we've moved all of our data that was essentially on premise into the clouds. But here we are facing some some headwinds. CMOs, almost 71% of them in the latest Gartner research showed that they don't have enough budget. Many of companies are being very keeping their budgets close vested to them. And if we think about all the investments that we made in automating our marketing functions, all the way actually throughout our whole business, we spent, as we talked about, the cloud coming in and helping us become a lot more efficient. We're now at a tipping point. We're seeing a lot of the tools we put into are now not giving us the productivity that it once was started to be. So that is dipping. And then on top of that, we've got inflation. There's like the macro trends that are also hitting businesses. And so many of our smaller companies that we work with that haven't really developed their brand awareness yet and are still kind of climbing that hill, they're impacted and they're a lot more price sensitive. So subsequently, obviously, that talks about limited budgets. So the two kind of go hand in hand. So those things are really moving us forward into the next inflection point, what we're seeing happening in the market. And that's kind of driving us towards the disruption of AI. The talk across all the media is really about generative AI. But really, there's two types of AI, right? There's the predictive, we'll talk about soon. And then there's generative. All the past 10 years worth of work was really focused around automation, helping marketers becoming more efficient. We started off with Marketo, and then we moved into things like Basecamp and all those tools that are in your marketing stack that Courtney always talks about. And so we're seeing this disruption start to unfold now into the everyday work of marketers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just to reiterate, we've been seeing the budgets get pulled back since Q4 of last year, and folks just really having to do more with less, and just the sort of impact that has on just your individual bandwidth as a contributor, and then also for the team as a whole. So yes, without a doubt, we are seeing this sort of motion toward AI as a good sort of way to plug the holes and really expand the ability to do more with less.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about generative versus predictive. What is the difference here?
Generative AI, which is all the rage, everyone's into Chat GPT. It really took everything by a wild storm, a firestorm, really. It's a way for us to now generate content, images, text, videos, right? I think if you haven't picked up the Chat GPT, definitely try it today. You can ask it anything and it returns you something. And so it uses algorithms to detect patterns, and then it mimics and it replicates some sort of content that you're looking for. Predictive, we're working with a few companies now that really are on the predictive path. A lot of enterprises have a great source of data. Now it's taking that data, trying to aggregate it and give you, if you would call like steroids, analytics on steroids that can help you think about the best decisions for your business.
Yeah, sorry, I'm bouncing around here. I apologize. I'm trying to push out a poll, so I don't know if maybe behind the scenes our admin can help us push the poll out to the team there. Apologies, as I'm becoming disruptive of myself, or disruptive here as well. Sorry. So it looks like, yeah, we'd love to just kind of know of those folks that are joining us, how many of you are actually using AI today, in any way, shape, or form. It's just a pretty straightforward question, because some of us are a little bit more fearful of leaning into it. Some of us are waiting to kind of see where it goes and how best to use it from others. And then, really other folks are diving headfirst into it. So kind of some topics around that. Great. Alrighty, so moving forward, sorry. So there we go. Learn business leaders' perspectives. So, different folks are, encouraging the AI use. Other folks don't want it to be a distraction from what they've been doing. Sort of, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But at the same time, sort of where we're taking things into the future, as Celeste has been mentioning here.
Yes, definitely. I think it's impacted all of us at a very personal level, but also maybe even the work functions that we do. We've kind of looked at how some of how it's starting to impact the way we think about doing our jobs today. And I know, Court, you've helped kind of pull together some ideas here.
Yeah, we've been doing
seeing?
messaging as well for companies that are in the AI space. So, there's the cost cutting. We're in an era of everything about, cost savings. So the AI piece there, without a doubt, is hitting the table. But also, of course, the concerns around, how does that impact the individual's jobs, et cetera. And then, of course, developing just really personalized, spot on messages for those of us that are doing sort of more of the ABM approach. And then, streamlining the marketing efforts as a whole, as we touched on. And then the ability to forecast actually is really an interesting one coming down the pike. So really taking just even staggered information and being able to kind of fill in those gaps and get a better understanding of your buyers today.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, like, when we first started doing messaging, it was all done in-house. You've got a team of people who are sitting behind tables, getting together, thinking what's important to get out to the market. And then you would take it to an analyst or a third party to validate that. Now, what's interesting is you can also use tools out there to start testing it as you go.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a streamlined process. It's just honestly just taking in information and iterating it as you kind of go. So it's quite fascinating how we're moving the work that we do today.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, so let's dive into some of those examples. We've got a few of them out there. I'm sure there's many more, but we just wanted to grab some interesting ones. So I'm going to flip on over to, bear with me, hopefully it'll pop open.
And while you're doing that, I would say that, we're seeing a lot of work in the B2C space right now, especially companies like GoFundMe. And here's a little video of some of their interesting work. This is a campaign they launched to showcase how human kindness can really help each other. And what you're looking at is a video all pulled together by machine learning, actually. And this is all content that's generated by pre-source data. What's fascinating to me is that it just looks like another animated video. But as you'll see through the end, it's actually a mural. So you take a mural and you can pull together these stories and generated by technology. Very fascinating work. Very fascinating.
Yeah, the ability to for the machine learning piece of it to fill in the gaps yet again, and really kind of bring together a broader story around each of these components that you see here, and then tie it together and string it together into the larger, more cohesive. And that's the mural here that they kind of ran it across each of these areas and thread it together into a whole story. So yeah, absolutely. Let me see if I can pop on out. All
So a
right.
lot of marketers are out there, using the tools, experimenting to see what we can do. It's quite fascinating, and in the B2B space, it's a little bit different. We're still figuring it out. But what are you seeing here, Court?
Yeah, so I would absolutely. So B2C is probably the more maybe in front of the adoption of AI, certainly on the marketing side. Internally, though, with B2B, again, impacting the actual team players on marketing department, there are many opportunities. It's just the external AI application for a B2B promotion is still yet to be a little bit, we haven't seen as many adopters out there. Regardless, you see we've grabbed a few of them here. We'll make sure we send this out to so you can kind of click on the various links and our sources, but just everything from social media to SEO to outbound mailings and campaigns, and just many different applications of this. So which kind of brings us to, again, those of us that are adopting it versus those of us that are a little more reserved. Maybe we can touch on that. So navigating those risks and the challenges, just those wanting to lean in or perhaps waiting to kind of follow along with the folks that have figured it out along in front of us.
Yeah, I think there's this narrative in the market that AI is going to take over. And for some of the people, depending on your personality fit, you want to kind of dive in and they're seeing, where is it eating my job? Or how could I use it to do my job better?
Mhm.
And so there definitely, what we're seeing is a variety of variations of where people are with it. But I think through the work that we're doing with a lot of our clients, what we're hearing in the market is that AI still needs that human to actually run it, right? We're working with a client that actually has, positions the human to automate the tasks and to oversee what the work is being done. And that's where you see keep the man in the middle. Where, algorithms, you can have good data and you can have bad data, and it can have inaccurate information. And so you still need somebody who is smarter than the machine to kind of understand what it's doing and where its pitfalls are happening. So it's not like AI is going to come and take your job today, but I think understanding how it can be useful, where it can be useful, because it's not going to completely replace humans at all.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of job opportunities as well for those folks that are kind of embracing it more so. So you can kind of look at it on both sides.
That's actually a great point. The skill sets, for marketers, it's what skill sets do I need to do my job for tomorrow? Start kind of honing in on what those are and how it can help propel you for the next wave, and how can I stay ahead? Because really, this is a great opportunity to just play with it, experiment it, understand what are the skills that are going to help you even do your job better.
Right. Be a part of the conversation, step one, and really, again, be more comfortable. Just having the ability to navigate the conversations and what's happening currently and where it's going is definitely going to give you sort of that edge.
In the communications field, I've tried out ChatGPT. If you're stuck or you're writing in, here's some use cases or some ideas for you to start using AI in your everyday work. If you're stuck and you need to write an article or byline, use ChatGPT, ask it a question, get some sources, use it to help stimulate some inspiration. If you're in PR, check your work. Definitely it won't give you the answer. It will spit out your top 10 media for, say, in areas like security, but definitely, you're still smarter than that, than the list that it provides. So you can use it to check your work and make sure that you're not leaving someone behind. If you want to conduct media monitoring, I think ChatGPT is a good place to do that. And of course, if you're just dreading those long emails, to pick it up, ask it to do something quick for you. It'll give you a great start. Social media posts, that too. If anything, what it does is it uses as a shortcut to help stimulate, get you moving forward. Because sometimes it takes us, as we go through our day, the transitions, and being able to just pick up something and move forward. And perhaps that's where things like ChatGPT could be useful.
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. So that kind of brings us to sort of the quick and fast version of AI today and where we see it going, and just really opportunities for us as marketers. So kind of wanted to wrap it all up, see if there's any questions, or the Q&A chat box there, by all means, pop something in there. Otherwise, you can also, of course, reach out to us directly. We're using our own team as a good example of learning AI as we go. And I'm sure we'll have a lot more to talk about on this just in even a month's time, because it's moving so fast. That's where we're at.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, Court. The world is really moving quickly. Every new day, there's a new tool, a new solution to doing something. It's kind of hard to kind of cut through what is what really. And many of us are still trying to figure it out ourselves. So there's many moving parts, and I think we're happy to help many clients that we're working with go through that right now, whether you're on the journey of never having AI and now are trying to make that move in there, or if you're a startup and you're in the AI space, how do we get you out there to cut through the noise?
Yeah, absolutely. I know for me as a marketing manager and just overseeing different areas and branches of marketing, I'm looking forward to seeing the individual specialists lean in and kind of come back with some best practices, tips, and things learned along the way. So it'll be again more interesting as we go. Great. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. We kept this really straight to the point, and wanted to just dive in on some of the higher level stuff, but happy to get a little deeper with some of the more specific instances and areas that you might be touching today. Great. Thanks so much, Celeste.
Thank you.
All righty.